Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and people in the YouTube world. Um, we are to another day with another event happening with a certain content creator. Just when you think that they're gonna stop doing all the things that they've done because they've been knocked off pretty much every platform there is to use. um, they found a way to use their platform to still uh, promote some kind of hate or um, what's the word? Just ugliness. I just wonder what it's going to take to change their behavior. And I don't think anybody in here is going to be able to change the behavior. I don't think anybody's going to reach out or be able to reach out to say, hey, you've lost. If you count it all with how many channels she has made on different platforms and how many channels she has made on these platforms, well, I counted up to about seven if you include all the platforms the channels she's made in here, the multiple channels. So, I mean, what's it going to take? Um, a doctor visit? I think maybe. I guess. I don't know. She's been knocked off every platform, and now I think she's knocked herself off of Facebook as well for a timeout. Twitch is gone, and I don't know if that's a permanent gone or just like a timeout, but I know they're pretty strict at Twitch because that's a gamer's platform. And they don't put up with that kind of thing. And gamers are pretty tough and they're pretty wild. So I'm sure with everybody saying, oh, she had a crying fit, sad fishing, or whatever when she got knocked off last time. I'm sure it's a lot this time because she literally can't do anything but sit there. Finally, she could go to oh, what's that? That I'm trying to think of the name of that she has membership on. Patreon. Yes, thank you. She could go on Patreon. Everybody forgets about it. So she could go on Patreon and have her clan. I'm gonna refer to it as a clan. And go on there with her, and she would get memberships and make her money from those memberships. And I guess getting more members would come down to other people passing the word along for them to join in that platform because I don't know any other platform she can join. um Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back, sorry. um she can get memberships from Patreon, and that's the people that follow her already. I don't know if she could stream from there or anything like she used to doing, but that's a platform that she has to go on, and that membership would give her money. What she's mad about is that she can't get the money like she's used to doing, and that's the spread of hate. Um, if she's in a business of something, I would say the business of hate. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, if you're up day, night, 2 o'clock in the morning. She's there to stream your content, whatever it may be, and use your stream as her content to pick the person apart, whether it be looks or anything of that nature. Um, but she got what she deserved um, on this last takedown, whether she believes it or Kelly the advocate believes it. And that's just a little weird to me. Kelly the advocate was over there today um, in her live, saying things like, "Oh, she didn't do anything to deserve getting taken down last night." Well, yes, she did. I mean, I've talked on here a lot of times about a protected class, and if you don't think those two women are in a protected class, well, then I don't know what kind of advocate you are. You're obviously not an advocate in the sense that you're protecting people who are in a class of such that needs one. Um, you seem to be an advocate of the class who attacks people, and I guess I got to say I never knew that hate groups had advocates to promote hate. But I guess I learned that if it's true, that those kind of things that exist. Um, I'm not going to mention the two ladies' names on here because I don't know them personally, but I will say that, her Natasha picking apart their looks, calling one of them Danny DeVito, picking apart the one girl's eyebrows, her looks, the way she called Danny DeVito a he, she. Kelly the advocate, then you need to learn what is not okay to say to that particular people in that community. You cannot say he, she's, it, some other nice words that people say. It's not allowed. It's not okay. And for you to advocate for someone to say it's okay, then I don't understand what kind of advocate you are. Advocates are usually take up for a lesser class of people or the protected class or people who can't really take up for themselves. And you are definitely not an advocate for those types of people. Um, you, I don't know who you're taking up for because well, I know who you're taking up for, so does everybody else, and that would be Natasha Cooper. And she says it herself. She doesn't need you or anybody else to take up for her. And she is exactly right. She can take up for herself. She can spread her hate herself. And there's if you had any sense, you would back away from that if your job outside of YouTube is going to be an advocate for the underclasses um in life, in reality, then what you're doing, I wouldn't want you for my advocate if I needed one. If I saw you on YouTube protecting someone like this that calls people a he, she, an it, a thing, who tears people apart by their looks, their clothes, down to what tattoos they have. Um, you wouldn't be someone I would if I needed one, and I don't. But anybody that needed you as their advocate would be in a lot of trouble because they would be afraid you'd take the side of the person attacking them. Um, what the hell? Kelly, you have got to put your brain on straight to what you're advocating for. You may not like what I'm saying, and so be it. Um, but y'all sat there and laughed, and again, thinking it's okay and it's funny. And you talk about what people have content for. Well, what is Natasha gonna have content for of when she can't restream people's content herself? What is she going to make fun of that y'all laugh at so much? What is she going to have as um, a subject? Period. Her content seems to be nothing but a platform to discriminate, hate, and talk about things you shouldn't be talking about. She shouldn't be talking about Jack's what's under his clothes, not these women, um, comparing, you know, her, her boyfriend, husband, fiance Dalton, his penis to Jack's. I mean, do you hear what I'm saying, Kelly? How do you miss these things? I don't think you miss these things. I think you think it's funny and laugh right along with the rest. But she's making fun of Jack's private parts, and that's not okay. Um, she's making fun of these women, and it's not okay. Calling someone a he, she, it is not okay. And I don't know how any of the subs in Kelly the Advocate's room now justify making fun of someone like that. Um, but you learned real quick, or Natasha learned real quick, that people aren't playing anymore. The woman told you very clearly on her video that if you stream her, if you make fun of her while streaming her and things of that nature, that she was going to strike you. And that's exactly what she did. And you can't say you weren't forewarned, because she wrote Natasha, and Natasha pinned it up on her screen what she said, and within 5 seconds you were down. So you can't say you didn't get a warning, because she warned you. She warned you, as she reported you 2 seconds later, and you didn't learn anything. Kelly the Advocate, you need to think about your own um image that you're giving people now about being an advocate. I'm just not seeing advocate behavior unless you're an advocate for, um, I don't know, if you were in the room when that pretty much white supremacist was in his car going after Jess, or are you an advocate for him, or are you an advocate for, people who show hate? Is that what you're an advocate for? I just don't know. It's a little confusing. Or did you used to be an advocate? That's when will the subs of Natasha's that are now subs of Kelly's Advocate step back and take a look at their own selves. Take a look at what they're commenting on. Take a look at how their behavior is for themselves. You can fight for Natasha all you want, but when do you take accountability of yourselves? The things that you're doing to entice her to keep up this behavior, when you are enticing each other to hate like this, to show hate, to be just ugly. If you have children, I don't think that, I would hope not, that you would want your children to be this way to other children. I would hope that you would, you know, I'm sure your children would get in trouble and then you would scold them. We don't be like this to people. We don't, make fun of people. Well, you need to take your own advice. I mean, that's just all there is to it. It's just mind blowing that, you know, how far she will go. And yesterday, I felt a little bad because I know at Christmas time she had done some good things, and there were people like going against it and say she didn't do those things, and I took up for her. Um, I said which things I know she did and which things I know she didn't. But then again, that was when she was not the person we see now. Something happened, and something happened, I think, after her aunt's death, in addition to Siren and Christiane happening right about that time. But I ended up taking that video down. Um, and why did I? Well, I'll tell you why. Because later that night, there she was, attacking two girls with vile name calling, which is totally against against everything I know and everything that I believe in and that I fought for as a veteran in this country. I didn't fight for all the white people, all the black people, all the straight people. I didn't fight for those. I fought for everyone. Um, I didn't pick and choose who I would fight for as a soldier and who I wouldn't fight for. That's just not how it works. Um, so when she was on there, you know, tearing these two girls apart bit by bit, piece by piece, like vultures on a chicken, pulling the skin off little by little. I couldn't leave that video up. I couldn't leave a video up of saying something nice she had done when the vile thing she said has been saying since then just covers up all the good um that she has done. I mean, yes, Nikki X, that is true. Um, she humiliated them. She made. I thought in 2022, and on to other things, that people had become better. As a whole, some people have become better. Um, but as a whole, also, no, we haven't. And she proves that. What's the saying? It only takes one egg to ruin the bunch. Well, she's our one egg. She's our one egg. Because what goes on between those two girls inside their home and how much they hug each other or kiss on each other is none of our business. If they're happy, that's what matters. In the world we live in, you got to find happiness where you can. And there ain't a lot of places, not a lot of places at all. With the world being right now how it is, with, it's not COVID anymore. It's, the world's falling apart in a handbag. Make your own garden so you have food to eat and all this kind of stuff going on. And then if you try to escape to YouTube to escape the real world for a while, but then you have, you know, Natasha over here, just um, just making this worse than the world we live in. Um, I keep hearing this thing, Nikki, and I guess I didn't hear it until Natasha kept getting canceled, but this cancel culture for personal beliefs. I don't think she's getting canceled for her personal beliefs. Now, if someone got canceled for like, um, you know what, I can't even think of something that somebody's been canceled for a personal belief. Only thing I've seen is someone who's been canceled for bullying, terrorizing others, and shouldn't be allowed on any platform whatsoever. And that's just how I feel. Um, yes, she is terrorizing people. Um, when you talk about them two girls, you are, changing people's mindset, to if they happen to see them in public, aiding to what could possibly, you know, an, be an event that would happen to them. You don't know what people on the internet, where exactly they are and what they would do to people. So you shouldn't be trying to excuse me. You shouldn't be trying to entice people like she does with just hate. And that's really, to me, all I see in her now. The part of her that helped people way back in December is is gone. That part of her doesn't exist anymore. And you would think if she would stop and take a time out for herself instead of just trying to find out what's the next way and place and platform I can get on to scam people out of their money, then she might change. But every time they put her off of YouTube, and she found a way to wiggle her worm her way back up here, whether it be through her daughter's channel or through all the other channels that let her come up on their panel, and then they dropped down, and she took over their channel, all the while those are breaking the rules as well. I guess how dumb do they think we have to be to not, understand when people go, it's my channel. She comes up here and I go, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me get down. What the hell? It That's me saying I'm giving you control of my panel without saying it. Um, so people were putting their self at risk without her changing. And so then she was putting their channels at risk. Um, and they're just not thinking about what's at risk. Um, all she has created in reality, between 8 channels and all the other places she has platforms, um, is a culture for hate. And in history, we know these types uh, of groups. They've been labeled quite well through history, and we know what they are, and we know what we call them, and we know what we won't stand for anymore as a society. Um, the protected class is not a joke. There's one main level, but there's up to level 3 and 4, and it's going to get ugly. It'll get real ugly when it gets up to level 3, when you're talking about seriously just on the federal level. You cannot make fun of a protected class like the two girls are just because you don't like it. Just because um you don't like the way somebody looks. You don't like the way somebody, it's not you. So um absolutely. You're right on this. She has body shamed, domestic violence shamed. She shamed her niece. She's body shamed. She shamed gay people, and she even shamed uh mental disability people. You are absolutely right. When she's making fun of Miss Portland, that is what she's doing. One minute she tries to act like she's her friend and says she's trying to give her tips. The next minute she's ripping her apart, making fun of her, mental, I don't know if it's a disability. I don't know. I just know that that's what she calls it. She calls her mentally, retarded and all that stuff. And you just can't do that anymore. Um, I know that she thinks that either that she's writing um the free will of America, where, I'm Natasha Cooper. I write free will. I can say whatever I want to, and other people can like it or leave it, or I will attack you next. I mean, I want to know when all her subs are going to wake up, um, because her subs, they think she's the greatest thing since sliced bread. But I got news for you. Kelly, the advocate, and all the subs in there, you keep wanting her to come back, but you better take a note from people that have been in her room way before y'all. They were friends, and like y'all were took up for, and I'm one of those people who was in there way before y'all came along, and other people have way before you came along, and we know that, once you step away and try to go to another room or visit another room, she'll turn on you, and she's gonna turn on you. So yeah, when you tell, Kelly, when you tell all the people to stay within these boundaries, just think about that. She's not even on YouTube anymore, and y'all are too afraid to step out of the boundary she has you put on, and afraid to step out and see what other content creators are talking about or showing. I'm going to use Jess, Jess, as going to the zoo and stuff and showing that. Um, Miss Portland, um, she's just trying to have fun. Um, Myself, I mean, why can't you come on my platform? What are y'all afraid of? To talk? Is that what you're afraid of? What is the reason? What is she afraid of that she has to tell y'all? I'm not on YouTube, and I'm telling y'all, do not go anywhere else to anybody's rooms. Are you hearing that? Does that click in for you? Do you even, is it clicking in that she's not here? She can't see you. Bet she's got spies all around watching you. Yeah, I bet on that. And so you're trapped in this bubble. And the bubble now is Kelly the Advocate's channel and Dorothy, and that's a whole boat of another. Um, and she is not even here, and you're adults, and you're too afraid to go out into the shallow end of the water and to hear what other people are talking about. And it's not all Natasha because yeah, she's very controlling. And this is controlling behaviors. You can see it even when she's not here. She's not here. It kind of feels like a parent, don't it? She's not here, but kids get in trouble and get told to stay in their room, and then somehow mom, gets in the car, starts it up, and goes to the store, and one of the kids have to, pee or something, and they really got to go, but even though they heard the car leave, they're too afraid to go out the room. Of course, they can make it to the bathroom and back to the room, of course, but um, they're too afraid. They're controlled. As long as they make all of us the bad guys, as long as they make Kim and Crafton the enemy, somebody has to be the enemy, and that's the problem. Not everybody is your enemy. They may be an enemy of hers, uh, but that doesn't make it an enemy of yours. If you're grown enough, well, are you? You're an adult. Can you stand on your own? Can you stand on your own and walk out the room and go see what other people are saying? Are you afraid to find out the truth? And you'll sit there and say, we know the truth. We know that Natasha didn't do all these things. Well, you're wrong. If you were listening to her last night and you heard her call that girl a he, she, an it, then you didn't hear anything at all. You didn't hear it last night, then you're really lost because she said it and said it clear. And that is something you can't say. And if you can't understand that, if you can't see that, then you have a problem on your own, that you're blind to hate. And Kelly the advocate, if you are truly an advocate and you're blind to her kind of speech and you don't have, let me see, what's the word I want to use? Um I try to keep my chats real clean, but I'm just going to have to say it the way it is. Kelly, the advocate, if you heard her say that he, she, and it last night, and you didn't have the balls to call her out as an advocate like you claim to be, and you didn't have that to call her out and say, hey, I'm an advocate, as you know, and that's not okay to say. Well, I don't remember hearing you speak up about that. So you're obviously not an advocate for um certain protected people. You're I guess only an advocate for hate groups or people who spread hate. I wouldn't want to think you were being this silly, but I keep hearing you. Yeah, I go to your room too. I go and watch and listen, and I'm not a troll. I've always said from the beginning, I go to everybody's room and listen because how else are we supposed to learn, and teach people truth from fiction? But when you sit up there and you can see everybody else's hate, but you can't see Natasha's hate, and she doesn't even try to hide it. She doesn't try in any way, shape, or form to hide it. She is gung ho, get it on, let's rip someone apart from their toenails to the tip top hair that she can find, and that's her content, to stream somebody else and to rip them apart like a hyena. And y'all are laughing like the hyenas and you think it's funny. But what happens now when she cannot stream anybody else? What is her content then? Everybody's so worried about what somebody's content is. What is her content then when she can't stream other people and tear them apart for their sex, their job, their who they're with, who their friends are? When she can't tear them apart, what's going to be her content? Um, you don't think we wish we didn't have to defend ourselves and others so much because of her? Man, it's exhausting. You can't even like take a breath before she comes back streaming down another road with hate and vicious attacks at people. Um, it's insane. So I don't know. Kelly the Advocate, I don't know what's going to take to get you to really wake up. And that's the disheartened part. That what's the part that bothers me the most about you? The part of you saying you're an advocate. And then again, you were in there. And if you weren't in there, then didn't the subs that were in there inform you about the he she comments, about the about calling one of the partners Danny DeVito, um, with just gender shaming and all types of things like that? Uh, why didn't you speak up against that type of speech? I can't have any respect for you because you didn't stand up against that. Or is it just like everything else? When you're in Natasha's rooms, you better not stand up. You better not speak out. If she says something, you better not speak out against the queen. You better not say, "Hey, Natasha, that's hate speech. Hey, Natasha, you shouldn't call people that." That's the real problem. Y'all have all the guts in the world to run around attacking other people, but you don't have any guts at all to stand up against her and stop her because you can't. When she's up there on her recliner, dragging people apart, you don't have a prayer in the world of stopping her. You know it's gonna stop her? The only thing that can, herself. Because if you say something to her in chat like, "Hey, I think that was a little harsh," you know what she's going to say, just like all the rest of us do. "Well, if you think this or you think that, get on out of here." You must agree with her hate and agree with her hateful comments and her slander and her discrimination, or you can get the bleep out and don't ever come back. That's what she tells y'all. You're grown women and you're scared of one bully girl. So if she wanted to make money and she thinks she's missing money, go over there to wow, what the heck do you call it? The platform she has. Patreon, yeah. Sign up. All y'all go over there on Patreon. Sign up for memberships, the highest one you can get, to make sure that she has enough money. Um, and then she has a steady income right there. How she gets more people, I guess y'all have to go find those people for her. But on Patreon, if she sticks there and does her video or whatever, y'all don't have to worry about any people coming in and trying to block it, because we don't care. So there she goes. She has one big platform left to make an income and to stay, from attacking people over here. Because people over here are just not going to stand for it anymore. And Kelly, the advocate, you're starting to get out there for it too. If you're an advocate, be an advocate. But right now, people are starting to see you as an advocate for hate. Um, and I don't understand you being an advocate that stands up for someone who says things she said about the couple last night. And I don't understand y'all who laughed about it as well. You can't say, oh, things are all in good fun. No, they're not. Not all things are in good fun. For the last time, there is a protected class. And y'all like to play around with protected classes. I mean, that has to be the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Um, it just stop. Just stop making fun of people. Um, if you want to make a difference, find a new subject to talk about, because all you look like now is just trying to become a new NC, I guess. And is that going to help you? No, not really. But if you're an adult, go check around, learn some things, step out the yard. And the only reason you won't step out the yard is because Mama Cooper said don't leave it. And yet she's not here. She's not watching you. She might have some of her, gatekeepers, the people that she has a real strong hold on, that watches every single person and where they go. But y'all are standing in the yard and you're too afraid to go out the gate. And that's all they see of y'all now. Afraid to go out the gate, afraid to face, these YouTube streets, I guess, when everybody on the YouTube streets have their gates wide open and welcoming, everybody and anybody to come in. Say your piece, it's not all about Natasha. You know, if she does something, then hell yeah, people are going to talk about it and they're going to bash it if it's bad. But it's been that way a long time, longer than, than you've been here, and longer than you're ever going to be here and gone. Um, my advice is to just let her go to Patreon or whatever it's called, and let her get her memberships from you guys, from her subs. And y'all make sure y'all give her the highest membership you can do, because then she will make a nice, decent income. And then maybe you guys can go out into the YouTube streets and try to find new people to drag over there to her. I guess. I don't know how, but you do what you got to do, I guess. Um, I I highly don't see that being productive, or let her figure it out or something, you know. Figure out who wants to, go over there and Patreon and pay her money, the highest you can get. Don't forget to pay her the highest membership. She has got to have a lot of money. Why all this time screaming that she's broke? Well, what the hell happened to all that other money? What happened to all the almost daily $1,000 PayPal's, the $20,000, the 5,000, the thousand, and behind thousand, behind thousand, behind thousand. Hey, if she went on there and took those $1,000 things and used it up right away and didn't save some of it, well then I guess you're not a good business owner, because most business owners, real ones, know that you have to put things away for unexpected events. And you have a lot of unexpected events happening lately. I don't think people are piling up on her like y'all are saying. I think she's her own worst enemy. And she might would have put a gun in her holster so she can quit shooting herself in her foot. That's just, stop shooting yourself. Um, Enough is enough. Go on your Patreon, have your members sign up for some ludicrous amount of thing, and just stay away from here for a while. That's my advice, because all you keep doing is getting knocked down. I mean, what's that thing called you got kicked off of today?
Twitch.
Twitch. See, I have to ask somebody because I don't even I just know it's a gamer's place. And Twitch, well, Twitch wasn't a place for you. And they showed you that. That's where kids go, and they're pretty safe, because they have a really tight terms of service about what to allow and what not to allow. And that's why people, let their kids go on there and not have a problem with it, because they know, most people know that Twitch has a high, you know
Strict rules.
strict rule, yeah, about you're not gonna, hate on people or restream something onto their platform. They're just not gonna put up with that. You, Natasha, this world doesn't belong to you. I know you've made a lot of money, and I know that you have a lot of subs, but you just have to understand that it is time for you to sit down, take some time for yourself, make a new business plan that doesn't involve uh, degrading people, attacking the protected class, um, and all these things. And what you call attacking your enemies. Those two girls weren't your enemies. They they didn't do anything to you. I didn't do anything to you, and you attacked them. You called me names, and you do it all the time. That's your content. Um, and there's so many people out here to confirm that. So maybe you should take some time to yourself. Um, find peace. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you just get kicked off of here and just go back to conniving ways to hurt people. If that's the case, you really, really, really need to revamp that program, because it's not working for you. I think you need a lot of prayer from you to God. I think you need a lot of reading in your good book. I think you need to spend some time working with the homeless or something. Get out that chair and go do something for people. You need a lot, because whatever is going to help you change your negativity and your attacks That's the only thing that's going to help you probably get started to get back to a place. I don't know if you're ever going to get your places back because you went too far on all of them. You push the limits, and the limit snap back. The limit snap back. But Kelly, the advocate, just pull yourself back and start really thinking about what you're doing and portraying. I mean, I see you up there yelling and screaming and trying to be all tough, but it's not impressive at all. And I've already said it on here too many times that you appear to being an advocate for the hates, not for the protection of someone who needs protecting. Um, or maybe I'm just not saying it in a way that you can understand. Advocates are people who protect people who keep getting hurt. Like, I don't want to say weak, but let's use it like that, I guess. The advocates are people who, like take care of the weak versus the strong, like a young child getting is hasn't children have advocates to stand up for them and things like that. Um I've never seen an advocate do what you're doing. You could pull all the subs under your ring into a different direction of acting. But again, you're just inciting more hate. And wow, what will it take to stop? I do not know. So, y'all have a good night. I might be back later. I don't know. Hit the like button and have a good one till the next time I see you.